Okay, hello, and now we proceed with introduction. So in introduction, we tell you the production defined as operation that join together with a variety of material inputs in order to produce a grade and outcome, which we call as output. And development means the field of economics that more focus on production, which refer as theory production, and it also close with theory consumption in economics. And then the production and development is important as it can influence political stability, openness market competition, health, technology, education, and infrastructure. In Malaysia, production of paddy, it is increasing every year because of the population, and actually our total land area, including Malaysia Peninsula and Borneo area, it is 32,850,000 hectares. In the northern peninsula of Malaysia, which is Mada, has developed about 38.8% of total national paddy production, which is it actually known as a nation rice bowl. Our granary area in Kamupu Agriculture Development Authority, that we known as KADA, it has produced 9.1% production of paddy. And after that, in Barat Laut Selangor Integrated Agriculture Development, that we know is IADA, it has produced 8.1% production of paddy in their granary area. Proceed to background of study. As you know, Mada has a granary area which it has a 4 region, which is first we known as region 1, region 2, region 3, and region 4, which is in Malay we call it wilayah. Wilayah 1, wilayah 2, wilayah 3, dan wilayah 4. In region 1, it is located at Perlis, which is it cover area around Arau, which is PPK Harapan Mewah, and then Kayang, PPK Muda Sepakat, Kangar, PPK Bahagia, Tambun Tulang, PPK Setiajaya, and Simpang 4, PPK Jaya Diri. Region 2, it has Kodiang, Salang, Kerpan, Tunjang, PPK Sinar Bahagia, Kubang Sepat, PPK Usaha Jaya, Jerlun, which is PPK Semangat Baru, Citra, PPK 4 Serangkai, Kepala Batas, PPK Tenaga Baru, and Kuala Sungai. Region 3, it has Hutan Kampung, PPK Muda Jaya, Kinabalu, Alor Senibung, PPK Gerak Maju, Tajar, PPK Aman, Titi Haji Idris, PPK Silatul Rahim, Koba, and Pendang. In region 4, we have Batas Pipe, which is PPK Seri Pantai, Pengkalan Kundur, PPK Tun Adam Malik, Simpang 4 Kangkung, PPK Suka Setia, Permata Buloh, PPK Usaha Padu, Bukit Besar, Sungai Limau Dalam, and Guar Cempedak, PPK Seri Jerai. And then we proceed to total gross production of paddy Mada. In this pie chart, we show you different 4 years from 2013 until 2016 of gross production of paddy Mada. Based on statistics of production indicate that revenue in 2016 was the highest in comparison with years before, because the total gross of production is 1,246,472 tons. It is followed with years in 2014, and then the third place is in year 2013, and lastly it is 2015 on the 4th place. This is because the production in 2015 has declining badly because of the climate change that make all the crops damage in Malaysia. One of the bad climate change that happened in Malaysia is El Nino and La Nina. Because of the El Nino, all our crop had damage and we facing a problem in this year.
Hi, my name is Shaida Nur Akila binti Jaiz and my metric number is 262014. I will continue with problem statement. What is problem statement? Problem statement is a research problem, is an area of concern or a gap in the existing knowledge that points to the need for further understanding and investigation. A problem statement is used in research work as a claim that outlines the problem addressed by a study. The problem statement briefly explains the problem that the research will address. The importance of rice as a staple food crop of Malaysia are really well known. Rice crop has been grown from 716,873 hectares in 1980. The land area for paddy plantation has gone down to 698,544 hectares in 2000. Since then, the land area for paddy plantation has gone down at the average of 674,000 hectares to 2014, which gives the area of paddy harvest of growth rate of negative 0.2%. Now, the latest area of rice crop is 673,000 hectares of land, producing annually 2.6 million tons of paddy grain valued at 2 billion, which is contribute with average growth rate of 3.7% of year in the last 5 years. Based on the data, it shows that the problem here is when the paddy crop area are diminishing years by years. These situations are becoming more serious when our staple food still not reaching satisfying food security level. This can be seen through the current country's self-sufficient level for rice production is only about 70% and the balance are imported from countries abroad. Food security for agriculture especially is very important to make sure that Malaysia has enough food if there is any unpredictable things is happening to the country. For sure, this matter needs to be looked into account in order to come out with better plan and which industry that need to be highlighted and put more focus on. Next is the dependency on importing balanced rice needs from other countries need to be minimized, as we have always have the ability to improve the industry to maximize the production like other developing countries like Japan. Government needs to put an effort to be taken by the government to increase the product, cropping intensity, prediction and crop average acreage to cope with the growing demand for the produce. The supply has to also increase along with the demand as population in Malaysia also keep on increasing years by years. So, according to World Meter, Malaysia nowadays have 32 million people in Malaysia. This is the challenge of rice production in Malaysia, and the government and expertise have to come up with various strategies and programs to help farmers in improving their crops ways. So in this study, we will analyze the food security status, various policy that being established, effect of the strategy implied to achieve the self-sufficiency in producing rice in the country. Let's get into the next point, that is research question. So, the current problem and issue as stated in problem statement have come into our concern. As to ensure the prolonged food security for Malaysians, some strategies and impactful action need to be taken. Even though there are a lot of other foods that can be replacement of rice as staple food, but rice SSL still need to be protected in order to be prepared for any sudden worst situation. The area of rice cultivation in Granary area are diminishing years by years. So, based on this situation, we have to come out with question on how the government should do and what is the focus of research and development that need to be done in order to maximize the output of harvested paddy in limited area. Next question is, the issue that have been arise and need to be put in highlight of paddy problem is the fact that we still exporting our rice output when in countries SSL are still did not achieve 100%. Even though it might be helpful to increase domestic income, but risking our own staple food level of sufficiency is not something that should be put aside. Government should have put local consumer needs before providing or make the output for export purpose. In 2018, rice export for Malaysia was 8,585,000 US dollars. Though to Malaysia, rice export fluctuated substantially in recent years. It tended to increase through 1969 to 2018 period, ending at 885,000 US dollar in 2018. So based on this issue, what is the plan that need to be taken by the government to ensure that rice supply is sufficient for Malaysian first? Furthermore, we cannot disagree with the importance of technology and education. Technology has been used widely by the other developing countries like Japan in cultivation of paddy. Proposing more technology and reduce the human labor can help to increase the productivity of the rice, but this could not work out without the cooperation with the farmers. So, education on the importance and benefit of using technology should reach the farmers' knowledge so that they can easily cope with the new transformation. Based on this matter, it has come to our concern on how we can duplicate and innovate the technology specifically for rice production from developing countries and how to educate the farmers.
Let's move to the objective. In our research, we have three objectives, where the first one is to analyze the suitable techniques to increase the paddy production in Malaysia. The second one is to study the factors of export nation paddy crops, and the last one is to evaluate about innovation of the technology and how to educate the farmers. Okay, for the significance of study, we believe that concentration on food security encourage Malaysians to focus on rice production during first and second Malaysian plan. It is also shown that Malaysia succeed to achieve 95% self-sufficiency in rice production in 1975, but after the globalization and trade, Malaysian paddy market food forced to compete by other low-cost producers. This result, the rice import from other countries, since it was cheaper than the locally produced rice. Agricultural sector and export shares onto GDP also reduced to give priority on manufacturing sector. The second NAP was drafted to balance agricultural and manufacturing sector. It is also improving agricultural integration with others, especially higher level and sustainable agricultural sector. From our research, we noticed that the government is focused to operate on selected paddy fields, and the NAP also introduced the private agencies' involvement to reduce government intervention in paddy market. From our research, we noticed that the government is focused to operate on selected paddy fields, and the NAP also introduced the private agencies' involvement to reduce government intervention in paddy market.
Let's get into the next point, that is article reviews. It has been an interesting research topic to be looked into, as developed in paddy are seem to still left behind other developing countries. We also love to know more about what is actually happened in paddy production in Granary area in Malaysia. Paddy or rice are Malaysian staple food. Even though there are a lot of transition in Malaysia consumer trend, this means that even though Malaysians are not fully depending on rice as their main meal every day, but still considered as our staple food since long time ago. The production point of paddy are interesting to learn how the industry actually contribute to the country's need. Most of the issues that related to paddy industry is for sure the breed quality, fertilizer technology, manual force, production level, and diminishing of paddy cultivation area. This article also provides us with a good information for all desired points. The article titled Leading Key Players and Support System in Malaysian Paddy Production Chain have included the fact that farming area in Malaysia managed by the farmers is divided into two major sections that are namely as the granary area and non-granary area. Granary area is an area that has major irrigation scheme and is normally more than 4,000 hectares. These are the areas that are recognized by the government of Malaysia as the main paddy production areas. Through this recognition, government can keep up with the latest area number and focusing to improve the area in certain. This will help to maximize the production with all the improvement strategies by providing best solution for the recognized area. Bernas is the main regulators body in the supply chain that ensure the stability of rice trade within the country as well as its distribution. The obligation of this group of companies includes managing the Bumiputra rice millers scheme and delivering of paddy price subsidies to farmers on behalf of the government. To further strengthen the position of Bernas in the paddy supply chain, Bernas has now ventured into seeding and farming activities as well as rice complementary business. This organization helps to ensure the supply chain of the paddy can keep moving and distributed well to all Malaysians. Next point is the objective to achieve satisfied SSL in paddy or rice production. Rice is grown in more than 100 countries with a total harvested area of approximately 185 million hectares, producing more than 700 million tons annually. Nearly 640 million rice is grown in Asia, representing 90% of global rice production. In Asia, besides Philippines and Indonesia, Malaysia also is included as rice importer. This is due to Malaysia's self-sufficient level of rice is still quite far, which is only at 70%. To support the short of supply when the demand is high, Malaysia has to import rice from the other countries such as Thailand and Vietnam. According to Deputy Minister of Agriculture and Agro-Based Industry, Sim Zizin, stated that the self-sufficiency for staple crops, that is rice, in Malaysia stood at 70% in 2018. This is still far from the targeted SSL of 80% in 2022. The balance imported from countries abroad. Even though Malaysia SSL is still low, Malaysia still export the rice, or specifically rice with the best and good quality are being exported to increase the income level. Southeast Asia plays a central role in the global rice economy, accounting for 16 million tons or 40% of the world rice exports. Thailand and Vietnam have become the region's top exporter, while Malaysia, Indonesia, and Philippines are net importers. Dependency toward the other country can be minimized if government decided to save all the output for Malaysian first beforehand. But as now, there are plenty of food that are being replaced with rice such as noodles, wheat, and even fast food has become the choice over rice by the Malaysian. This has made rice seems not really a big issue for now, even though it should be staple. That is maybe the one of the factors that leading the government to turn best qualified paddy or rice to be exported. Later, this action will help to increase the country's financial income. But still, if we can keep improving the breed, fertilizer usage and soil management, it is not impossible for farmers to cultivate wider area with better production output. Research and development in searching the best solution for this issue need to be run more vigorously. When the production increase, we may kill two birds with one stone, which means that the SSL will increase and the export will also increase and lead to the higher financial income level. Furthermore, technology and education is important to be taught for the farmer knowledge. According to Silsource.my online news, written by Sabrina Noor, farmers has been argued about the price of seed that being sold to them are way too pricey. This has become one of the issues in effort to increase paddy output. Government can put effort by trying to duplicate and innovate the technology from developing countries and apply according to the suitability farming style in Malaysia. Government also can help to reduce their burden by subsidizing the raw materials in cultivating paddy such as fertilizer. Education on the effectiveness of the material given also have to be taught for the farmers so that they also willing to accept in innovation. This is important as we do not want to waste the technology that will be created if there are no cooperation and exception from the farmers.
Now, for Chapter 3, Empirical Analysis, the data description is to record all information about the data files and their content so that someone can use the data in a future research project and understand the data's content and structure. From this study, we have collected the data from annual report in 2016 by MADA to observe the total paddy production according to land area in 2006 to 2016. We can see here, table 3 shown that the yield statistics show that the revenue in 2016 was the highest compared to years before in 2015. So the difference in paddy production for 2016 and 2015 was 148 and 138,000 ton. So for the year 2015 revenue excess for the main and off seasons is unbalanced. So this is due to season 2014. There was a catastrophic attack and disasters such as flood and collapse, and the area involved the floods were 8,246,000 hectares, which is 18.90%, with the number of farmers involved as many as 10,575 people. Okay, for the next video, we share the graph and also the descriptive analysis.
In a conclusion part, we want to say that the government had always a special position in Malaysian paddy, because we know that rice industry is important for our country, because it has produced since pre-independence until post-independence time, with the aim to improve the self-sufficient level and reduce the poverty among the farmer. Instead of other plantation like rubber and others, paddy industry also has start growth rapidly and develop in upgrading in technology, innovation, R&D and others. The effort that we can see that taken by MADA and government has improved in terms of yield and production. This is because there are certain years that give impact towards MADA paddy production because of the world climate change. The world climate change that has disaster our paddy is famous and is known by El Nino and La Nina. One of the best innovation that we can see is that MADA has been introduced one of the program that we call is Beea seed growth. It is successfully the world first treated industrial dried rice seed to improve the quality rice seed in our country. In conclusion, the development in the rice industry play an important role that we need to alert because it gets along and related with enhancement of rice production paddy in the future. We go to policy recommendation. In policy recommendation, we analyze that the suitable technique to increase the paddy production in Malaysia. Firstly, government have to implement program to help farmer increase production of paddy. Since we know that nowadays the world climate change is uncertain, so it can be hot or it can be like cold, and there's one history that stayed in our world, which is El Nino and La Nina climate change. As we know, El Nino makes the weather is extremely hot, while the La Nina makes the temperature drops off with heavily rain. So because of these two climate change that could damage our crop, the government can run a special program for farmers to teach them with a new innovation on how to cultivate Arabic rice technique. And it also, government also can help with other technique that maybe can help more these all farmers. Next, government also can implement national agriculture policy, which is we call it in short form as NAP. It is to emphasize on maximizing the agricultural income by optimized production. As we know, Malaysia's sufficiency level on rice is average, which is around 75%, and even though Malaysia has not fully enough sufficient level, but Malaysia still export our rice to other countries like Indonesia, Philippines, Singapore and Brunei. At the same time, Malaysia also import other rice from other countries like Vietnam, Pakistan and Thailand. This is because Malaysia want to help improve Malaysia income and GDP. Plus, government also can give subsidies in coupon system in order to help farmer could buy a quality pesticide, fertilizer, seed in order they can produce more production of rice in the future. Okay, next is good education. As we know that good education is an important key for individual, any person to fly further. So in this case, government should focus on good education where they can suggest for school on agriculture subject, since now there has been few schools that have that subject and teach the student about agriculture. In every student who takes agriculture subject during primary or secondary school, it could train this student to have their specialty, skill and others. Whereas it also possible to put an interest and make want to try and join agriculture industry when they grown up. It's possible if they join the agriculture class since they kid. It is not possible they can produce a new innovation or any new brilliant technology. After that, education aiming to strive to meaningful benchmark, which is first it is to develop a certain level of literacy in agriculture method, which helping society interest in agriculture is formed. Next, the second benchmark is making a relation between agriculture with other subjects subjects as business, economics, mathematics, and science. As we know, there are few universities in Malaysia that has agriculture program for a student could take in the future, such as University Utara Malaysia, UPM, University Putra Malaysia, University Teknologi Mara, University Malaysia Terengganu, and others. Therefore, the student would see wider in the industry and prepare them in the future.